We got Elven Fighter, 14 Strength, 17 Dex, 14 Con, 13 Intelligence, 12 Wisdom, and 10 Charisma. Cool.
And those will be on the stream for everyone to see, right? So they don't have to keep trying to remember and taking their own notes while watching.
Yeah, I'll have to edit that after this stream, but right now it's still showing zeros. But
yeah. Session 0.
Right. Look at Phillies.
No, there's 100 viewers. It's just Twitch isn't showing up.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
I sent out another tweet, but I got like 5 favorites, but none of them followed, or no one watched.
They're false favorites.
Yeah. And like 3 of them were definitely people I've never heard of. So, but anyway. So Philly has an 18 strength, the Dwarven Barbarian, 13 Dex, 17 Con, 12 Intelligence, 11 Wisdom, and 10 Charisma. Oh, has everybody picked their skill proficiencies or got all those too?
Yeah.
I did.
Okay, and I thought it looked like Jeremy had all his too.
I think I have mine.
Okay.
All of them. I know I have 4. I didn't think I missed any.
Alright, let's look at Thomas, the half-elf cleric. We got 10 strength, 14 dex, 16 con, 16 intelligence, 18 wisdom, 14 charisma. Nice.
Broken.
That's a bunch of bullshit. I mean, that's really good job, Grats. I'm proud of you.
He's completely broke. I blame Roll20.
Alright, and then finally we'll Bex. I'm gonna mess up your page when you look at your core stuff. We have the Dwarven Warlock who has an 18 strength, so
laid back. Yeah.
11 dex, 16 con, 11 intelligence, 9 wisdom, 16 charisma. Alright.
And then I have 4 skills: athletics, intimidation, nature, and perception. Because who needs Arcana as a warlock, really?
I don't know.
I only got to choose between nature and Arcana, and as a pirate, I think knowing how to be on the ocean is a much more valuable skill.
Probably.
I think you should. You're missing some. Hold on.
Am I? I got 2 for warlock and 2 for background. I thought.
I think you get ones for being a dwarf.
Yeah, I was gonna say dwarf probably should have gave you some in there.
Oh, awesome! I enjoy being better at things. Because if dwarf gives me nature, I can actually take Arcana.
Dan will probably beat me to it because I was slow at switching.
I'm sure.
Maybe
I didn't
they
even
don't.
look.
They get tool proficiencies, but not skills. It looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have all my tool proficiencies written down. I have lots of tool proficiencies now.
All right. No,
Oh, yeah.
4 is all you get. You're right.
Because as a sailor, I also get tool proficiencies, so I can use a lot of tools.
Yep. Artisan, smith's tools, brewer supplies, or mason's tools.
Yep. I have the artisan's tools. I took that to mean like, would I be able to use that to be like high-end cooking tools? Like my Perry knife, my fillet knife, all my like gourmet cooking kit. Would that be considered artisan tools, or is that referring more to the crafting skills?
Which one are you talking about? The ones you got from your background, or the ones
From the dwarves?
So it's specifically either brewer's tools. Shoot, I switch pages. You have 3 types of artisan's tools to choose to be proficient with: smith tools, brewer's supplies, or mason's tools. So brewer's supplies, I guess, would be a little closer to what you mean.
Mess kit
Yeah,
would
you
have
can make
the
your own
fillet
beer.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going with brewer supplies. Don't worry.
Homebrew.
I got some juniper berries we can throw in.
There we go. So yeah, I took the brewer supplies then. I just had that written down wrong.
And then the
Still there.
Navigator's tools, yeah.
Yep, and I have those in my inventory. So I'm now carrying one more set of tools because I would not have sold my brewing supplies.
I don't think you can get the Navigator's tools. You're just proficient with them.
Ah,
Right.
Yep.
well, I don't have that then because I didn't pay for the brewer's tools. I did pay for the navigator's tools.
Oh, okay.
I didn't pay for the brewing stuff.
Gotcha.
So,
Fair enough.
yeah, you can't really be on the ocean without navigator's tools.
Well.
Not successfully.
Yeah.
You can be on it. You just
Yeah.
don't know where.
I could technically get in a kayak and go ham, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
get lost one day.
You can Tom Hanks it. Just
Oh, hey, it worked for him. He got famous.
yeah.
I hear his documentary did really well.
I mean, he was a little famous before that. Just a little.
Oh, so it looks like I'm all good then. I'm just gonna finish making sure I have all my spells put in correctly. Not missing any components or anything like that.
Alright, so the only person I didn't hear from on the starting hooks that we might use was, I believe, you legit. Did you say if you had a preference on any of those?
As far as what?
Let me link it in Roll20. And then I'll read over them while you're looking at it too.
That's getting closer to what it looked like, Stephanie.
I decided to stop looking on DeviantArt because I was getting a lot of undesirables.
Prawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Or
don't do a lot of
fraud.
searching on DeviantArt anymore.
Oh, hentai and yeah.
It's DeviantArt approved.
So some of the starting hooks that I kind of laid out as a group that you all might be drawn to between the four of you were crystal acquisitions or caravan protection agents. The dwarves mine the crystal, but it's up to Crystal Gate to have them transported from the foothills of the Great Magua back to the city. The way is dangerous, and bandits, monsters, and competitors are always on the lookout for a weak caravan. Acquisition agents. The growing wealth of the region of Malkavarn, certain nobles and aristocrats have begun spending their new riches to acquire artifacts of old that could possibly be empowered by the arpeggio crystals. Militia or peacekeepers. New wealth and prosperity means an increase in crime and corruption. It also means increased pressure from the other provinces of the land seeking to benefit from the power of the crystals as well. Rumors of Dragonborn army being raised in northern Suteran has caused a large increase in enlistment for the local military. Airship explorers. Before airships, it was seen as nearly impossible task to travel from Malkavarn to the jungles of Pippentor. But now that journey can be made in just a few weeks. I did the math, it's about 21 days. Almost exactly. Much of the world of Zimla is unexplored, and even more of it is unmapped. The membership of the Zeppelineers Guild and the Merchants League of Crystal Gate have started an ongoing expedition to explore and map the world, and in the process bring back to the city the various plunder of such activities. And that was a little bit redundant there. Good editing. Good editing.
Thank you.
The repeating, repetitive redundancies
It's the best
that you
way
say
to-
again
Over and over.
and repeat.
Alright. Crystal deliveries. Once crystals have been charged for their intended purpose, they need to be delivered to their intended owners. Airships handle deliveries far and wide, but traditional delivery methods are still employed to the local customers, be it farmers or lords of keeps or small trading villages. The great value in these crystals and the growing disparity between the classes make the act of delivery more and more dangerous each day, which has also caused, missing a letter there, which has also caused the price of crystals to continue to rise. More great editing. Members of newly formed Adventurers Guild. Attention, would-be heroes of Crystal Gate, Durtan's company,
Adventure!
led by the one and only Durtan the Bold, is now recruiting in your fine city. If you have the lust for adventure, exotic lands, treasure beyond compare, and winches at your feet, then join us and become a hero of the realm. Enrollment available night and day at the Wanderer's Rest. And I believe
Didn't we all vote for something different?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
You guys had the lucky advantage of my character's opening being I have to wake up hungover somewhere and realize I have no more money.
Hmm.
So mine is going to be whatever the closest source of income is that isn't the word peacekeeper.
Hmm.
I don't fit that role.
Yeah.
Because I sort of build a story that's kind of tough to hook in. So I'm giving a little bit of DM power on mine.
Well, the need for money actually makes you like perfect for every single one of them, except like you said, the peacekeeper.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I can keep the peace as long as it's involving me getting paid.
Right. So I know one person was, I think Dan liked Airship Explorers quite a bit, and I believe Stephanie said Caravan Protection Agents, Crystal Acquisitions. And I forget, Jeremy just posted his earlier today, and I forget.
We could just combine all three.
Yeah,
It was
there it is.
Caravan and also
Yeah.
So we can do airship-based caravans.
Well, why don't we do the crystal deliveries? That way, the airships can be involved when we go far and wide, and we'll also have local adventures, and it wouldn't be too out of the way for a hungover dwarf or loner dwarf or wood elf stuck in the city to be wanting to get out of the city and go do something else. Not to mention it goes great with Dan's new calling. Getting out of the city, but still coming back to check up on his temple.
Confused religion.
Plus, it doesn't sound like any of us are really like going to be able to tie our backgrounds in any way. So it makes sense if we're going to do like caravan protection. We all just kind of came together that way.
All right.
We were all hired by the same caravan or caravan master.
Right. Well, crystal deliveries, even there might even be a call for just. It might just be I need a few people to take a crystal, so it's not even a whole caravan necessarily, depending on what the job is.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, what my character is going to be is he's going to wake up, see a flyer on a wall, and go there. So,
Gonna rub his eyes first.
maybe, maybe not. Sometimes you need that, like, last night's sadness to remind you of what you didn't do right last night. So,
Right.
it's a tough life being that poor and that drunk.
Let me...
But yeah, I'm down for whatever, especially like combinations. I think the crystal delivery was cool because it lets us, like you said, do one delivery, or we could be part of a caravan, or we can toss in the airship.
Yeah. So let's go with that.
All right.
Have the crystal be the core of our adventure, and just toss everything else in.
Did I freeze up again? God damn.
Yeah. Yes. And a
You
pretty
look
good
so
pose
cool
too.
holding your little
Yeah,
cigarette.
yeah.
You're like the hipster.
Yep. Nobody will notice that it was backwards either.
Your e-cig.
Yep.
Nothing
least I
says
can't tell.
hardcore.
Hey, they send us coupons for free shit.
How's that? What are you eating there, Dan? Is that cake? Potatoes? I couldn't tell. You ate it too quickly.
Pickles.
I was very
With a
close on the
fork?
cake. Very close on cake.
Hit him one, get the pickle juice all over the keyboard.
That's right.
It's
I
already
don't want-
Even have all-
unsanitary.
The
I'm
pickles that I made
Oh.
Ah,
are really good.
fancy.
Why did you take those to your mom's house?
I will. I've got like 18 jars of them. So I'll bring her a couple. I'm coming down there Friday.
Sweet.
They tasted pretty good. I'm proud of you.
Let me bring up my notes here.
They're tasty. They're
It
dill.
is easy to mess up pickles, believe it or not.
Alright, so there's actually multiple temples to Lumiere in the city, and you're staying at the cathedral that's kind of like adjoined with the orphanage, right?
Yep.
But they also have a school for the upper class as well in the same
Yeah, they segregate them. They don't want any of the highfalutin children mixing with the orphans.
But it's
which
all
is-
basically in the same campus, right?
yeah,
Just in different parts of it.
and that's kind of before I became a cleric of the light. I was the master of education for the last 8 years, and that's one of the things I was arguing about. Like, the orphans should be able to, the smart ones, learn with the cultured folk.
Yep. Alright,
You have awfully high expectations.
let me bring up roll 20 here and show the map. This is because I am the world's greatest map maker. A map of the city.
Aren't I the one that told you about this program?
Is that like pre-made tiles that you click together?
Actually, it's just almost completely randomized.
There you go.
With just some stuff I added into it.
I'll message you some stuff probably like tomorrow when I open up my folder. I do have some really fantastic, completely random gen stuff for maps, cities, dungeons.
Cool.
Yep.
I've used a few different things for maps, and I was feeling particularly lazy when I wanted this one. So
It still works. It's better than a hand drawn, like those quick scratches with like circles where districts are.
Yeah.
So I'll take it any day.
So your temple is probably, or not probably, but the new commons. Since it's the newer structure, the more the rich people's temple is in the Elise ward. Whereas the tavern that Bex has been staying at is the where are my things at? Is the Wanderer's Rest, previously mentioned, and it's in the if I can get the right screen up at one time. Too many windows. In the
Not enough time.
in the old commons, which is G on the map. Yeah, not enough time for sure. Why do we have a good reason for why Tyrnil is currently in Crystalgate? I know I read it. My memory is not great.
We're gonna say that Tyrnil is still. I mean, he's still on that adventure of trying to locate his father.
That's right. I don't know. So I'd say odds are pretty good that you're out also at the Wanderer's Rest because it's fairly cheap lodging, and so you're probably getting low on funds.
Oh no, I'm not getting low on funds.
No, you didn't spend all your money.
That's still him.
On beer and winches.
Might I recommend binge drinking that large coin you have? It works wonders. No. We'll keep our money. Yeah, I'm not there. Don't worry. If you were to see me right now, I wouldn't be in any state for communication, let alone with an elf.
And let's just go ahead and say Philly's also at the Wanderer's Rest. You've come into town to try and offload. You just offloaded the last of your furs that you had gathered, and you didn't really. I don't know how much money you got left over, but whatever you got left over, that's what you were paid.
Right.
And Thomas, we'll start with you.
I bought a shiny new bear trap with my money.
Fancy.
You guys all have so much stuff.
Thomas, you what are your like immediate goals with your character, like right now, today, this morning? What does he want to do today?
Well, today is the day that he woke up and he went through the ceremony to become a cleric of the light. They presented him with his nice shiny new armor, his mace, and his shield, which all has the emblem of Lumiere on it. and he's feeling adventurous. So he's going to go out and do whatever he can to be an adventurer. You know, in his mind, that's probably going out and looking for some kind of job, or he's heard, you know, about this adventurers guild that he might look into. He's not really sure, so he's going to look around.
Yeah, so you've been directed to the Wanderer's Rest. You ask around some of the patrons of the church that you're familiar with, and you know, they're like, yeah, like, if you're looking for a job, most people are looking for adventurers like to go to the Wanderer's Rest and post their want ads and seek people out there. So you can make your way there.
That's what I would do. And you know, I'm not really familiar with kind of going to taverns and stuff like that. I've lived a very sheltered life, so it's going to be kind of obvious when he goes in there that he's kind of lost.
Oh, I've skipped something very important here for you guys in my haste.
How dare you?
Yep.
We trusted you too.
Tell me if you see this.
Yeah, you'll learn.
It should have worked.
The City Gate Lambsgate.
Yeah, that's minus the flooding. Minus the flooding. This is kind of what Crystal Gate looks like from the Elise River, which on the map is kind of basically section H, so kind of south. This is looking in the general direction of where you guys are at now.
I do have one question then. I know the crystals are sort of like faux steampunk. Do the crystals have sort of a pollution or an offput, or do they just work and slowly fade away? That's a question I forgot to ask you. Is it like we can tell that's running on crystals because there's sort of a magical steam, or does it just glow a bit?
Yeah, they give off a glow. Actually, is exactly what it is.
Okay.
They give off kind of almost like a smoke. For the bigger uses like the airships, especially.
Okay.
So instead of steam, it depends on what the crystal is charged for and what color it is. So crystals that are used for airships are usually red in nature, dark red color, fire essentially, and they give off kind of a red sparkly smoke that is the exhaust basically.
Guns were purple.
Guns are purple. Okay.
Guns are
Yeah, I guess the reason I was asking was like if they left like a residue, is this like a really dirty town, or is it a magical residue that people are worried about, or is it sort of a clean energy?
Are people walking around with extra limbs? And
There's no known negative side effects from the exhaust from the crystals.
Okay, well, that's good.
Should we say there's a magical dust though?
Wait, what do you mean?
I don't know. I mean,
does it
usually
leave
in a
contrails in the sky? I mean,
I'm just trying to figure out if it's like a nice like clean energy fuel and everything's clean, or if it's just like the stuff makes some pollution.
is this actually where that conspiracy theory started?
Yes. No. It is apparently, to everyone's knowledge, pretty clean. It doesn't like leave behind residue. It's not like the buildings that it passes over are now painted red or anything.
That would be interesting, but definitely gross.
So this is actually a pretty nice place, Crystal Gate.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm here.
This is like the pride of the country, and really, other than maybe the Elven capital, among the nicest cities in the entire world. Partially because most of the other races don't build up really big permanent settlements. Exactly. Other than the halflings, the dwarfs, it's all underground. So even though the buildings in the mountains look nice, you don't
They're
really,
gorgeous.
you
My
don't really see what
ancestors
it's like.
love
The hill dwarves, they build hobbit holes more or less, or small houses on the hills. It's not no big grand cathedrals and giant towers. I mean, one of the districts in Crystal Gate is the Tower District, and that's kind of what you're looking at there. So I mean, it's a common place to have towers. So yeah, you're making your way. You probably really previously Thomas wouldn't have spent too much time in the old commons except for if you were maybe sent to help somebody who needed minor healing or something like that. Usually people come to you for that kind of stuff. So the town is pretty busy. I'd say you're
sorry, my bad.
that's all right. Your initiation was probably with the dawn, right? So
Yep.
that was probably pretty early. So now it's at best 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, early afternoon. And
Yeah, they had some big ceremony with the rising of the sun.
Yeah.
It comes into the light and all that bullshit.
So you're making your way, the afternoon crowd in the old commons. The street's pretty busy. With there's a couple open markets in the old commons where the street vendors are selling fresh fruits and vegetables brought in from the outlying towns, and the like.
There's a vendor selling my fine furs that I skinned myself.
Somebody's reselling some furs. The poverty level isn't extreme in this district of the city. You don't have like beggars on every corner. There's not like refuse in the streets or anything like that. But there is definitely people are less clean than where you're used to being, except for obviously the orphans. But the priests are always well kept. The clientele of the church and the people who go to the other school are much nicer dressed than anyone in this area of town. Do you have any reason to not go straight to the tavern to Wanderer's Rest?
Not unless something like some kind of altercation that I feel the need to stop or help somebody in need.
No, you make your way to the tavern. It's a pretty good sized 2-story building that sits on the edge of the district near the Tower District, and the sign out front is just a stick with a satchel attached to it, and it says Wanderer's Rest on it, and the doors are open, big double doors in the front. And when you go inside, just wouldn't really call it crowded, but there's maybe 15 people milling about or sitting at the looks like they're probably getting a late breakfast or early lunches. You can smell the scent of some kind of fresh baked beef of some sort, and bread that smells pretty good. There's no foul stenches. And walking about, there's a couple different waiters and waitresses walking about serving people their food as you come in. And there's stairs up to the upper floor in the back of the bar area, and probably 10 tables and a main bar along the left wall.
So basically, when I walk in there, I'm not really sure what to even look for. So I'm just gonna kind of stand in the doorway and look around for this job posting. Like, is it obvious or?
Yeah. So when you first come in on your right, there is a wall with some trophies, some boar's heads, things of that ilk, and kind of framed in the middle of them is more or less a pin board. Pardon me. And it's got various parchments pinned to it, or and in one case stuck into it with a cheap dagger, or really basically just a kitchen knife. And there's probably 30 or so different papers up there. If you
I just basically, I'm gonna walk over to the board and just kind of look at it, like, kind of scratch my chin, look at all of them. I don't really have a great concept of like value of coins either, because everything's been provided to me my entire life.
Right.
I've basically lived off the charity of others forever. And so yeah, I'm just kind of look around, kind of poke at a couple of the papers, look around at the people that are in here, clearly lost.
All right. A lot of the papers, random things on them, looking for people, looking for the guy who stole my dog, stuff like that. Then there's various job listings. Basically every job listing that I read from the starting hooks is included among the job listings. Real quick, Philly or Tyrnell, would either of you be up and possibly in the common room at this time, 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon?
I'd be at the bar.
I would be just kind of hanging out, lounging around. Yeah.
Alright, and Bex is passed out, face down, ass up in a bed.
No, I
In a
can't
pile
afford-
of hay.
I cannot afford a bed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If I was not thrown out
Well,
of
let's
like,
go
yeah,
with you.
otherwise it would be wherever they put me.
You might have used your bad reputation to kind of force your way into a room
Yeah.
in your drunken state. No.
I would use my bad rep more to just stay at the table where I was at.
Okay.
So
So
I would then be
passed out on one of the tables is a rather short dwarf, and he's kind of more or less just splayed out, right, face down, tankard in hand still. Laid on the tankard's laid on its side, but you know, like a little bit drizzled out.
The tongue is there to get what slowly drizzles so I can drink while I sleep, maybe?
Yeah, there you go.
I planned it out.
Yeah.
Snoring obnoxiously loud.
Yeah. And you see the wait staff occasionally is kind of they're aggravated with this, but for whatever reason they've not had him removed from the premises. You know, he's probably been in that state for 6 or 7 hours, if not more.
It smells like more.
It smells like more.
That's how I would describe the moment right now that Bex is having.
Perfect. Cams are off, by the way. Oh, they must
Did you break
okay.
it, Damien?
No, yeah, they were on the screen. I have the city maps on. I didn't have the cams set up yet, so but I switched scenes back after quite a while ago.
This is
Just
why
missed
this
that
is
message.
episode 0.
Yeah, this is why it's episode 0. Working out the
Episode 1
technical
starts
kinks.
off on a good foot.
Yep. I'll figure out how to do that stuff right. I don't think the person's in the chat anymore anyway. They're like, fuck this. You don't even know how to operate your cams.
Damien's
Fuck
trying
it,
to
I'm
use
out.
this as a webcam.
Yep. So you're looking over these listings, Thomas. Tyrnell, you're kind of just chilling, having an easy time of it. Philly, you're using some of your fresh spent money.
Beer and beef. What does a dwarf want?
I'm gonna go ahead and roleplay my character for now.
Just passed out.
Alright.
Yeah, I can't lean forward and still have the mic on, so I have to go backwards for this one. Sacrifices I make.
And I got the wrong Google Doc open. Switch.
It's like
drive.
15 Google Docs open on my tab right now.
Yeah. Is it this one? Pretty sure it's this one. Where is my random name list? This is not the one. Oh, here we go. I got it. Close that shit. Alright, so where you're looking at that, everyone else is doing their thing. In comes a 6 foot tall ish human. Got kind of a half cape with a leather doublet on, nice tall boots and matching hide jean or hide leggings, and he walks in. He's got a piece of paper.
Is he wearing a cod piece?
No. Hold on. Or is he?
Enter scene Gaston. That's what you just described to me.
Never mind. He is wearing a cod piece. Change approved. And yeah, it's a silver cod piece, so it's stands out, in the contrast to his leathers. And he's got some kind of parchment in his hand. He pulls it open. Attention, ye citizens of Crystal Gate and other rascallions. Pardon me.
That's a type of garlic, right?
No. We've been over this before. Lost my place again. Here we go. The Merchants League of Crystal's Gate has sent out a call and is requesting the immediate hire of 4 new delivery agents. This pays a total of 30 gold per month for able-bodied and completed missions only. If you are interested, sign up here. And he puts the paper down on the table and drops an ink quill or a quill and a ink well beside it. And then after we have reached the required number of signatures, I will tell you if you're acceptable or not. And we just kind of has a seat, and he says, "Bring me a tankard of ale."
Here now, just kind of, rotates his head over, looks at him, and just kind of scoffs. Goes back to people watching again.
Okay.
I walk over to him and I ask him, "Is this leaving Crystal Gate?"
Yes, all these deliveries are without the city.
I immediately take the quill and sign my name.
Well met, young cleric. You can go ahead and have a seat. I'm pretty sure none of these other rascals are half the man you are. In fact, most of them are half as tall as you are.
I sign my name and sit down. Start talking to him.
I'm gonna get flushed when he says half the man. Hop off my bar stool, march over there, sign my name as Nameless Clan Forsaken, and say, "I'm better than any man. Try me."
It kind of gives you a quick look over what weapon do you have, and do you keep it on you, and is it visible?
Actually, all of my weapons I have on me and are visible. So I have my great axe named Lola. It actually has a pretty floral design etched into the blade. And then I've got a quarterstaff strapped to my back, and I've got my short bow. His name is Will. And I've got a couple of javelins strapped into the backpack.
Okay. Well,
Pretty dwarven weapons, wouldn't you?
yeah. That's quite the arsenal you carry there, Lady Dwarf. Go ahead and have a seat. We'll see how the rest of the sign-ups go. You see a couple other guys walk up together and kind of look at the two of you and look down at the paper. One of them's maybe 5'3", half elf, and pretty ragged. I think he may have just woke up sleeping near Bex somewhere, or Bex probably drunk him over the table 12 hours ago. He goes ahead and signs. He can't even hardly make out his name. It's such chicken scratch. And the other guy's maybe 6'2", human, and he's a little stronger looking. He's got a decent size, decently made, decent looking short sword strapped to his hip, and he reaches over and signs too, and he's like, "Neither of these two are as good a fighter as I, and I can prove it if you'd want." And he kind of looks at you, Thomas, like, gives you a little, you want to jump, kind of shoulder checks.
I just chuckle at him. You're funny.
And like, "You laugh now," and he starts to walk off. He's one of those kind. And about that time, one of the barmaids is trying to bring out the ale that the that the crier ordered earlier, and she's trying to squeeze past these two as they're walking away back to their seats, and Bex, whose leg is now basically out in the middle of the walkway, and she trips over him, spills the ale everywhere. Tankard completely flies across the room. About half the patrons or more start just rolling in laughter. You know, a few others are like, "Oh no, that's you poor thing," and it's, you know, but mostly it's people are just rolling in laughter.
I immediately jump up and try to help her.
Is that enough to startle me awake, or am I like gone, Damien?
I think you probably had just about enough time to properly sleep it off anyway, so it's gonna wake you up.
Okay. So sort of taking a look around, there's this awkward human bounding over to help the other awkward human. So what I'm gonna do is get up, walk over, grab the tankard, and finish what's inside it.
My cam's up. Okay. There's
Need to wake up.
Yeah, let me fix my cam. There's probably
Couple of sips.
yeah, what's you 3 sips, half a
I'll take
drink.
it. You know, anything the hair of the dog.
Yeah,
Got to help out a bit.
it helps you wake up a little bit, and you see there's this fancily dressed man sitting over there on the far side of the room, and the two people laughing the most are what? Oh, okay, yeah. The two people who more or less caused this accident, in conjunction with the drunkard whose leg was out in the way, they're probably, you know, laughing the hardest. And they're like, "Look at this Patsy, she can get herself up off the ground."
Okay.
Excuse you?
There you go.
I'm sorry. She should be treated with respect. She is the type of woman who deserves respect because she takes care of your sorry asses all the fucking time.
Yeah. Why that bantering is going on, it's worth noting that Bex has sat back down in his spot, and he's prying a board off the table, and he's undone one of the strings in his tattered leather jacket, and he's sort of just wrapping the string around the plank that he ripped off the table.
Okay. Yeah. So in response to you, the one guy just kind of gives you a head turned down look, like, are you really talking to me? This female dwarf. He was like, turns to his friend, "I can't believe this female dwarf, this half pint of a woman with more beard than you." She doesn't even. I mean, she goes to turn and walk away. I don't even know what's going on here.
So I'm gonna finish helping the woman up, and then as she gets up, I'm just gonna, as the guy turns and walks away, I'm gonna tell him, "Yeah, you might just want to keep on walking out."
That's fine to ever use.
Keep on walking.
After, as I'm people watching all this here, I decided that female is going to go, and I mean, he hears all of this.
Definitely.
And he's gonna go right behind the like he's gonna brush up right behind the guy that was, you know, being very vocal about this lady.
Okay.
And he's just gonna kind of nudge him a little bit, and then give him kind of a stink eye.
Alright, so you just kind of like stand in his way, like stiffly, so like he tries to turn and walk through you, and he can't move. Gotcha.
Right.
It's like he actually, as soon as that happens, he kind of shakes his head and he just immediately tries to push you, like, "Get out of my way, elf."
And outside, just smiles, his big grin of a smile. It says, "Who the hell are you?"
There is a very small poof of light, and the board and string disappear. For game knowledge, that would be me summoning the unseen servant using wooden string. So I have an invisible servant right now floating around the bar. And I would like to issue the command to untie the annoying gentleman's breeches. Because he has disturbed my favorite drink delivery person.
The breeches.
Yeah, so he's about to lose.
Coccyx will
My
fall
goal is that his pants are gonna fall down because she brings me beer and he disrupted that.
Alright, let me check on scene server here.
I actually have it in the description on my spell book just to
Okay.
make it easier for you, Damien.
And
Yes, I have used my.
let's
One spell for the
say that his response to Tyrannel's question is going to be kind of simultaneous with this. He starts to answer. He's like, I'm Hardy Jack, and this here is Little Ben. And who the and then let's see, middle 15 feet, interact object. All right.
As soon as he says his name, Tyrannel just not laughing, and he goes, he points at him and, are you?
And as soon as he says the words, and this is Little Ben, his britches fall down. And it may not be certain if he's talking about his friend or his now exposed underparts.
Can I pull out my quarterstaff and intentionally trip him up now that his legs are slightly bound?
Yeah. So.
What would you like? Would you like me to roll for that?
And so the campaign derails.
Yep. Tavern Brawl. Issue 1. You're trying to trip him. Let's make this a straight attack roll.
With the quarterstaff?
Yep.
I crit.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, I believe you successfully tripped him. Go ahead and tell me what happens. Let's do the Matt Mercer. You tell me.
Alright, so I will pull out my quarterstaff and as smooth as possible, or as smooth as fuck in this case, I will, being lower to the ground, take my quarterstaff and at the end of it I'm going to wrap it around his now dropped breeches and push out from underneath of him so that his... I'll pull it so that his feet are pulled back from him so that he falls to his knees and therefore to his hands and knees. So he's now in a full-on, I'm going to take it in the ass position.
He's now bowing to an elf.
Yep.
Yes.
That's gotta suck.
With his hands down.
We're kind of like an impromptu initiative here. So Thomas, you see this. He pushes the elf. He starts to yell at the elf. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, his pants fall down while he's talking about Little Ben. And at the same moment, this half-orc takes her
What?
quarter...
No.
Half-orc.
Half-orc? Wow, you've changed.
Boom! Dwarf, half-orc,
changed you.
it's all the same thing. No, the dwarf takes her quarterstaff, sweeps him out, falls down to his hands and feet. His buddy's just standing there like, what the hell is going on? And is there anything you want to do in response to all this?
Nope. I'm just gonna sit there. I'm gonna pull out my shield and just kind of like watch what happens for now.
So this is why they keep us in the temple.
Yeah.
You're not going to flat blade him on the ass?
Debauchery has ensued already.
I've been out of the temple for like 2 hours and I've already taken part in a tavern brawl.
Yep.
And people are losing their clothes.
Yep.
Your bucket list is closer to finished.
Let me see. Let's use this fancy macro.
Yeah.
that I got
It's worth
here.
noting that Bex is laughing uproariously, but I don't want to do that in character and prevent anyone else from functioning for the next 5 minutes. So,
That's weird. I don't think my macro is working.
that's always frustrating.
What? Let's just try.
Makes you regret leaving your life of comfort, doesn't it, Dan?
Wow. Okay. So our little macro we made.
Yep.
My script's not working, Dan.
Oh, okay.
I'm not even getting like an error or anything. It's weird. I even tried typing it in just manually. Okay, so that's cool. So basically, what's everybody's passive perceptions, which should be at the top of your core page,
12.
and where your alignment and your class and all that stuff's at.
Mine is 16.
Okay.
P perk, that's 11.
Yep. And what'd you say, Tyrnell?
Oh, 13.
13. Alright, so Tyrnell and Thomas, you both notice that where these guys were walking to are a few other patrons of the bar. And one of them's a half-orc, and he is now stood up and drawn out kind of like a hand axe of some sort, and he is making his way towards towards Tyrnell. So he's kind of on your side, backs, you know, your back's almost to him, but he's coming at you from the side. Yeah.
I'm gonna wait and just react when something looks like it's gonna get a little more serious than like tavern antics.
Alright, we're past our break time, and I know at least one person, including my 2 people, need to use that actual break time, so we will roll initiative